Hello everyone, Luke Hohwieler here, Aberdeen Grain Marketing Specialist with the Agtegro Weekly Market Update. July futures first notice day is next week, so any basis fixed or hedge to arrive contracts against July futures will have to be priced or rolled by next Monday, June 29th. Also next week, the USDA will release the acreage and grain stocks report. This is out Tuesday, June 30th at 11 a.m. Corn is traded on both sides this week, but ultimately was a sideways trade. The market was led lower by favorable growing conditions and weakness in the crude market, but picked up strength with excellent export demand towards the end of the week. The USDA had crop ratings this week at 68%, which is unchanged from last week, but slightly lower than last year's pace of 70%. Exports sales this week were on the upper end of the trade estimate, coming in at 29.3 million bushels. The funds as of Thursday were estimated to hold a net short position of 71,000 contracts. July resistance is around 430, with higher resistance around 440. July support is around 409, with lower support around $4. The soybeans also traded sideways this week, with strength coming towards the end of the week. The market was led by favorable growing conditions, weakness in soybean oil, as well as the funds being cautious ahead of next week's acreage report. Crop conditions this week were at 66%, good to excellent, which was unchanged from last week. On Thursday, the soybean complex saw a jump in futures as a result of strong export sales. Old crop export sales were at 16.7 million bushels, and new crop export sales came in at 33.1 million bushels. Out of that 33.1, China accounted for 7.4 million bushels. The funds as of Thursday are estimated to be net long of 42,000 contracts. July soybeans have resistance around 1140, with stronger resistance around 1160. Support is around 1106, with lower support around 1090. Winter wheat harvest was pegged at 40% this week, well above the average of 24%. Harvest pressure remains the bearish tone as U.S. winter wheat harvest is approaching the halfway mark. On a supportive side, recent reduction in Russian acres, as well as extreme heat across portions of Europe, continue to raise concerns about wheat production worldwide. Spring wheat conditions were pegged at 54% this week, down 1% from last week. Wheat export sales were also towards the top of the trade estimate, coming in at 18.5 million bushels. For pricing opportunities or more information on the market, please call your local grain marketing specialist. We are here to help. That's what we do.